Hey guys, hopefully this setup works and everything. It is a hot day, but at the same time I wanted to be outside, even if up on the balcony, not a usual spot. But anyway, so kind of loud outside. You can hear the goats going crazy in the background. Now, I know it has been like weeks since I've done a full-length video. I think I've done one, maybe two YouTube shorts in that time, and that's it. It's that whole thing where if I go too long without doing a full-length video, it's like my brain, after a certain number of days, forgets how to do the thing and forgets that it's even a priority and that it's like part of my income and, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be doing that. Haha. Oops. My bad. But, yeah, this one takes an interesting turn because I didn't have this on my bingo card for 2026. I mean, I thought March 12th was going to be celebrating Liza's birthday, especially with the new book and everything. Fantastic. Thought that was going to be a thing. And did not foresee, A, one of my uncles dying, like, right at that moment. And B, really did not foresee finding out that the old house we used to live in became kind of like an abandoned house, touristy kind of thing. Do you understand how uncomfortable of a feeling that is? Now, it is the weirdest damn story, and I feel like it all kind of comes in a weird, full circle kind of a way. Like, just hang with me, but like, okay, for those that don't know the tale, I'll try to give like the too long didn't read version for you, but basically like, the house I grew up in as a little kid, like, we outgrew long before we moved out of it. It kind of got wrecked, but we knew that we were going to build the house we live in now at some point, so we never stressed too terribly hard over it, but also because it was literally on the same piece of property just at the opposite end of it, we didn't exactly prioritize getting all of our stuff out of it. So, you know, we were using it as an overglorified storage shed, and basically after about 2 years, people broke into it, robbed it blind, trashed the place, and it went from bad to worse. When shortly after that, the roof collapsed in on it, and then, like, black mold took over everything. It was like, oh god, now it's a biohazard, so even if there was anything left in there we still want it, it's not worth it, right? Okay, so we kind of left it abandoned for many years. That was 2012, right? So I get this random-ass message on Facebook on Liza's birthday. I thought somebody was screwing with me at first, but they asked me, actually, let me pull it up. I'm not going to dox their info or anything, don't worry. But, let's see, where'd it go? It's already a little bit back. There it is. Alright. I'll scroll all the way to the top and we'll do this the hard way. Anywho, so they asked, hi, are you familiar with an abandoned house on insert name of street here? And I was like, maybe, depends who wants to know and why. And they're like, I always see it when I go by it on the trail. Do you know the history behind it? I only found you because online it shows you own the house by it, I believe. Sorry for the bother, I was just curious about it. See, this told me that, shit, it's probably legit, so alright, fine. So then I tell him basically that same TLDR version that I just told you guys. He was like, oh wow, thanks for the info. I love the way the house looks. No wonder it looked like a barn, because yeah, it quite literally was at one point in time a barn that my dad then converted into a house that we lived in. So anyway, he was like, that's crazy, super interesting. Thank you for the answers. I was super curious about it. Do you happen to have any pictures of how it looked back then? So, I mean, this was probably a stupid move in hindsight, but at the same time I was like, we don't even live in it anymore. I kind of don't give a shit. So yeah, I started bombarding him with all these pictures, right? And then I tell him how, like, it's funny, there was like this urban legend locally for a while, like not even recently, but like when my youngest sister was in middle school, that like that was an old murder house or something. Even it's definitely not. No one ever died in there, other than my cat. But like, so anyway, but because they would look through the windows and see this place fucking trashed and shit, and like graffiti on the walls in there, like it doesn't take much for kids to start urban legends, you know? And it was kind of funny to us because we knew it's not anything nearly so dramatic. It was just, you know, it's a stupidity led to stupid outcomes. But Anyway, he's like, yeah, I heard a rumor about it being haunted or something, but I never believed it. It's such a cool looking house, though. If you find more pictures from back then, I'd love to see them, too. Anyway, thank you for the time and info. And then I remembered that YouTube video I did a couple Octobers ago where I walked around the perimeter of the outside of it, even though it's all dilapidated and creepy. That was why I did it in October, right? And I linked him to that. He's like, wow, thank you. I'll definitely like and subscribe to you, too. And then I was like, what's interesting about it is that even though the house itself is not haunted, no one ever died there, I would definitely believe this just piece of property is very haunted, especially for how many outdoor pictures I have taken that have had the creepy ghost orbs in them and shit. And he's like, yeah, I heard people would see ghosts near that trail in the general all the time. So then I told him about, like, the full-on premonition experience I had on that trail one time. Like, it's creepy. Like, there is lore with this area, okay? But anyway, so they're like, there's others saying that the trails by it are haunted, but who knows, honestly. Oh, wait, yeah. When I told him that story, he's like, yeah, Lake Chabot definitely has some kind of spirits wandering around there for sure. It's like, yeah, no shit. I mean, I've even joked that maybe we built this on, like, an old Indian burial ground or something, because up on, like, the mountains behind our property, there's caves and shit where there are old Native American artifacts that have been found in those caves. So, you know, it's not a completely unreasonable thing to believe that might be a thing, you know? I mean, we did find tomahawks in the ground when we were excavating to build this house, so it's like, oh shit. So he's like, so I'm not sure if you have TikTok, but one of my friends had told me that this is the abandoned house. And then he sent me a video. I don't know that I have permission to show it, even though this is literally my old stuff in my old house, but I still don't want to step on anybody's toes. So I won't play it for you guys unless I can get her permission. She probably would let me. I mean, I actually ended up messaging this user, and she was super cool. Actually, we're getting to it. There's more than one that's going to be relevant here. She was definitely the coolest one out of all of them. She probably would give permission, but I just don't want to step on toes without permission, so I'll touch base with her. If she okays it, I might, like, re-upload it over here as, like, a collaboration type of deal. But anyway, the thumbnail itself stares directly into my old bedroom. Quite a few of my old toys are still visible, including ones that I recently was on eBay trying to replace. So, you know, it'd be like that. But seeing it with the roof literally falling in the middle of it, sheetrock falling down, black mold on the walls, I had an instant panic attack. So this was the moment I realized, oh shit, this guy is not bullshit. This is most definitely that house, and there have most definitely been people in it since the time it got robbed. Cool, freaking cool. This is not what it looked like when we lived in it. This is not what it looked like even when it got robbed. So I'm like, holy shit, dude. I feel incredibly uncomfy and violated just over the fact that there was random strangers just sifting around through our old stuff like they were ancient artifacts of who knows what, and just looking for stuff. But what's creepier, there's stuff in there that wasn't ours as well. And I'm like, the fuck are these? Where did these come from? What the hell? What the hell? Let me turn the volume down so there's no sound. I'm just gonna refresh my own memory, even though it hurts to watch it, but it's almost weirdly cathartic in a way. Like, it pretty much starts from the front door and is looking into the living room area, into the kitchen, where actually, as bad as it looks, it's probably the lesser of the evils out of anything in there. And, yeah, like immediately, the first camera pan away from it, there's a sofa that wasn't ours in there, and like a weird mannequin pair of legs I've never seen in my life. I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, and then, yeah, back into the kitchen. Our old fridge with food that was not ours, that apparently has rotted out, that God only knows how old all of that is, but black mold all over fucking everything. old stereo with cassettes that are definitely mine. Cool. Hate this for me. And then they walk through my parents' old bedroom. I've never seen a ceiling fan that's been so water damaged that all of the fins on it are drooped downward, like curved down. And like there is nothing left of the ceiling in there. There's like the bare bones beams over your head. That's it. Everything else is rotted out. Most of the stuff on the walls is gone. Most of the bed is gone. It's interesting what furniture looks like it's been stolen out of there because it's no longer there, and what stuff is still standing, and what just like random articles that I remember from my childhood, like those fiber optic flower things in like the glass encasings. One of those they even zoomed in on. Again, this was something I feel like I even brought up not that long ago on here, that I was like, I would love to find one of those on eBay again, but it's a good thing I saw this because this is proof that all the ones I was seeing on eBay, I had my nostalgia goggles on because I was looking at those going, these look way cheaper and tackier than the ones I remember us having. Yeah, no, they're literally the same ones. So it's like, okay, I'm kind of over it, thank God. So, but yeah, so much random stuff where I'm like, oh my God. And then they walk around my sister's old bedroom. And the old back room where like my mom's hairdressing salon was that she ran out of our house. And the old pinball machine that's still there because, fun story, my parents were kind of crazy. They literally knocked out a wall to put it in there and then rebuilt the wall and didn't like think this through that, hey, you might need to get this back out someday. And then just never did because they didn't want to deal with, so how are we going to like move it even if we do that? And they just left it. And it hurts my heart seeing it, like, the top, the glass all smashed in. It looks like part of the top of it's destroyed. It looks like, yeah, ceiling over that, totally gone too. But then, like, weird little artifacts, like the cabinet on the wall still has some of our old stuff in there. Like, what the fuck? Things I haven't thought about in a gazillion years. And then it hits my old bedroom, right down to my old dresser, my old lamp, my old computer desk, my old computer period smashed on the floor. Great, hate that for me. I mean, it's a mercy killing. It's got like the shittiest, most cringe fanfics you'd have ever seen in your life on that. So actually, probably for the better. It did answer a question that I had kind of held in my own head about that desk. Like, if I could rescue one thing out of there. There was one book, it wasn't like a professionally made book. It was like back late 90s from like this Beatles fan fiction group I was in online. They like all contributed to it and like just like hand bound it and like sent me a copy of it. And it was really cool, and I loved that thing. That was actually, even though it has no monetary value, that was probably one of my favorite Beatle things I owned. Period. Even though it's fan created, that was part of what made me love it so much, and the illustrations and stuff. I don't know how I missed that when I was bringing stuff up here, but I did, and I thought this whole time, I swear, if it's literally just sitting there, even if I just go through and take a photo of every page individually and document it, archive it that way, I'd be fine with dealing with the biohazard just long enough to do that, as long as it's not completely water destroyed and damaged. It's not there. There's nothing inside that desk except for the old batteries in the front little ridge of the top drawer of it that have been there since I was 15 years old because there was battery acid and I was too scared to touch it. So I just left it there to this day, still there. That's wild to me. But like seeing my old computer speakers still sitting on that desk. My old wallpaper literally like decaying off the walls, and yet somehow my little hand-drawn monkeys logo is still somehow intact on the wall. 16-year-old me is going, high five, bitch. Like, that was made to last. But what's bizarre is that it's like, okay, I'll like cover the name, but it's like all the mold around it, but it's like somehow like right there. It's still up. It's still there somehow, some way. It's like, oh my god. Oh my god. But, this hurts my heart. Like, my old bed is still there. My old Barbie limo is, for some reason, on the bed. Don't know why. I think that might be my old mattress. I can't even tell for sure. It's so decayed. The thing in the wall my dad built to put my old TV in is still standing somehow, but the entire ceiling, gone. Gone, gone, gone. And yet, even with like the shelving thing that was between the wall sconces, that if you go back to the earliest part of my channel ever, you can kind of see from the side, that's all gone. I don't even know where it went. It doesn't look like it just fell down, because if like when the ceiling fell and it like took it down with it, two questions. If that were the case, it should just be straight down, and it's not. That Barbie limo's there. But also, if the ceiling came down in like a big smash like that, how are the glass wall sconces still intact somehow? But more importantly, there is somehow still perfectly preserved, in amongst all the rot, in amongst all the mold, a photo of John Lennon I printed out at like 14 years old, still there, and a picture of The Who that I cut out of maybe an encyclopedia in high school. Whoops, sorry about that. And I like literally fucking laminated to that wall. Still there. Still intact. That is wild to me. None of the other things are still intact on that wall, but those are. But it makes me so sad seeing at least the skeleton of that bed still there. It's like, oh, my mom spent her inheritance from her great-grandma on that bed. But it was like, I had a different bed when we moved into this house, so it was like, I mean, what are we gonna do with a spare? There's no extra rooms to put it in, so it was like, the rooms that are now our spare rooms, those were my siblings' bedrooms here, so it was like, there was nowhere to put it. So we just left it. But like, just how fucked everything is. I'm like, oh my god. But like, more wild. My sister's school photos that she taped to the wall in amongst her friends, those are still somehow intact. To where actually that girl messaged me, asked, hey, is this you? I was like, no, that's my younger sister though. But I shared a bedroom with her. That was my bedroom. The thing to hold the sheet music for my electronic keyboard, apparently still on my old computer desk. It's not where I left it. Can see my old toy box in the corner that was so buried I hadn't seen that thing in years. Yeah, it's not only buried, but the lid's also long gone, so somebody's raided it. But like, my puppy surprise, that's gone. I mean, that's not gone. That's one of the things that's still there, and they moved to a shelf. And it hurts my heart, because I've seen Toy Story too many times to the point where I think toys are sentient. And I'm just thinking of my poor sad toys rotting and decaying away in that decrepit-ass old house, and I failed them by not saving them. That's on a shelf. One of my Barbie horses is on the shelf that I apparently missed. And my matching bunny that one of the times my grandparents went to Vermont, my grandma got herself a stuffed bunny that stayed on her bed every day of her life until she died. And she got me a matching one, my sister one, and two of my cousins matching ones. Apparently it is now sitting on one of those shelves too, which raises good questions about where the hell they turn it up from, because I couldn't find that thing digging through there because I wanted to bring it with me. Where the hell did they find it? Where'd they turn that up from? I know it's not the person who filmed this who found all that, but it's apparently whoever dug through it and moved shit around the first time, no doubt did that. My old bike helmet randomly in there. Old Game of Operations still there and just like randomly open on the floor, not in the box. I'm very confused by that. Like some of my dad's old cars that he just like abandoned down there. Like apparently they popped the hoods open on to just like check them out. I mean, I don't blame them. Like, I probably would have done the same, or the other way around. Like, I'm not mad at these people at all in the slightest. Actually, I messaged them and was really, really curious if they had anything else from when they were in there that they could share with me, because I was like, ever since that place got robbed, I've had such PTSD about that whole situation to where I was never really able to go in there again after that point. So for me, this is like a weird kind of closure that, trust me, you wouldn't want to go back in there. It's over. It's done. There's no going back in there now. It has to be demolished. Like, it's not worth it. It's not safe. And actually, we no longer own that building at this point in time. We sold the piece of land that sits on. We don't own that. And the people who bought it haven't done anything with it either. It's just kind of there. I think they're planning to knock it down at some point, but they're not ready to yet. So it's just kind of there. They filmed like inside my dad's old garage and like all his stuff that's in there, including, again, more of my old toys that used to be up in the ceiling rafters that have now collapsed down because the whole freaking roof rotted out. My old Barbie RC Corvette, still down there. That, again, was one of the things I did try to hunt around for. Where the fuck was it to take with me? Oh, it hurts my heart. But it's like, well, I'm kind of glad, though, that I looked. Because I can finally just mentally close the damn door. But anyway, so then I'm asking this dude questions. And he's like, I believe I also saw another video of that same house. I'll try to find it. And I'm like, wait. There's more than one person who's been through there? To the point where you recognize it across multiple people posting it? I didn't think in that moment to ask, is there a thorough line here of somewhere where different people are posting it too? Which, again, we'll get to that later, because yes, there was. It's now been taken down. But, yeah, different TikTok. It was mostly just like them walking around the cars outside the house on that one. But still, it was like, oh, holy shit. Anyway, so there was that one. And he's like, the one caption says it was an old sheriff's home. I'm not sure if that's a lie. I'm like, my dad was not a sheriff. That's really weird to make a claim like that. Because, like, the caption on it was like, the sheriff died. It was like, not sure where you're getting that from. I think we're just making up stories the same way that people said when they said it was a murder house. And then I thought about it. I was like, I know why they're saying it. Because my dad must have left one of his badges down there. He did have badges from being part of the Equestrian Trails Patrol, so that could be why they thought it was a sheriff. I was like, shit. And he thought he had that up here. Maybe he has one, or maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, he's like, yeah, people just spread rumors. If I was you, I'd probably go back and steal my old pictures. I was like, yeah, we have untainted copies of those, so it's fine. It's fine. But, yeah, I gave him more context. And then, let's see here. Pretty sure I saw a picture of it back then. I believe one of them showed a dirt bike in the living room. I'm like, I beg your finest fucking pardon. And then it went over to Instagram, and a third person has entered the chat who is also posting walking through it. And I'm like, wait, fucking wait. And I could tell these had to be much more recent. And was like, holy crap. Let me find that post. Because that one had photos. But then I was like sending him more and more photos as cope, because I was like, I swear to God, this was not what it was like when we lived in there. It was actually really nice and really cute once upon a time. But, I mean, you would never know it now looking at those. But, let me open the Instagram one. Because I think it's still in my recent history. Yep, there it is. Okay, find the post. It's going slow out here, don't mind me. Unless they deleted it. No, it's there. Okay. So, sure enough, this one looks much more recent. Whole carpet's been ripped out of the living room. a throw rug's been put down in its place. The entire entertainment center where the old TV was gone. Totally gone. I didn't even know there was one of those built into the wall heaters in the wall in the front room. And I showed my dad that. He's like, oh yeah, we never used it. That thing looked like a fire trap. And I was like, oh, cool. But like, and this one too, like just kind of cruising around the whole place, walking around in there, filming everything. And I'm just like, even things right down to like the old like window cling I made by hand as a kid is still adhered to the front window. Like a ringmaster from a circus or something. Like my dad's little curio cabinets he built by hand are still somehow standing attached to the walls. There's other stuff that's long gone, but those are still there. Which is kind of cool. A lot of the kitchen is still intact, the way we left it. The bathroom is a sad state. It looks like the entire ceiling in there too also rotted out, but like you can see like the lines of where it fell in different increments. Like, I don't think I can cover both places with the name, so I won't try it, but yeah, you can see like all of like the ceiling just like crumbled on the floor inside the shower and just everywhere on the floor, on top of like the cabinets, on the countertop. It's so sad, but it's like the old mirror where I used to take my bathroom selfies is still standing somehow, but there is literally no fucking ceiling left. The old little like, it's not quite a Vespa, it's like a wannabe Vespa, still in the yard. They have like a more heartbreaking photo of like my parents' old bedroom. I'm gonna try and cover the, oh, wait. Okay, I guess I can't. I was gonna try to cover both places that show the screen name, but like I don't think I can cover both. Okay, if I do it like this, maybe? Oh, we can't really see that, can we? But I'm like, bro, this is fucked. Okay, let me bring up the brightness, maybe that'll help. But it's like, dude, it's so fucked up now. Like, this kills me. But like, even the one looking outwards from my old bedroom in this one, it like, even its dilapidated, rotting out state now, it still kind of like sparks some kind of weird nostalgia just seeing the sun come through the window at that time of day. I'm like, yes, I remember this looking like that very well, minus all the rot and clutter everywhere. Oh, that hurts, though. But weirdly, there's like one strip through there that still has ceiling, like maybe about like this wide at like the very top of that slanted room. And I don't know how it's the only ceiling in there that's been spared. But it's like, dude, just wild. So these were the ones, oh, in the old filing cabinets, just like completely destroyed. You can tell somebody yanked out the drawers, smashed them on the floor. Everything that was in there just scattered everywhere. It's like, damn, dude, what the fuck? But, anyway. Oh, wow. Like, I didn't even notice on this video, at the very edge, the way the sun is coming through that one window and making things glow peach in there. I'm like, even despite all this, it still sparks a little teeny bit of nostalgia of, oh, I remember when the sun would come through the window like that. That was like my favorite time of day, actually. But anyway, yeah, it's, again, not even ours anymore, and it's not safe to go in anymore. So it's kind of a moot point now, but it's cool to see it archived like this. And yes, you best believe I saved them just for my own personal purposes, seeing as these were ours. I felt I had the right to if anybody does, but I won't, like, repost them without their permission. So anyway, fine. At this point, I start messaging each of these accounts one by one that the original guy linked me to. And I start having conversations with them, asking, how did you even, like, stumble upon this place? Do you have more photos and videos of it that you didn't post that you could maybe share with me, since, this literally is where I used to live, and almost all, I think all except one did. So that was kind of cool. But, the one girl that went through there, actually, the one that had the first video that I was kind of staring at, she was awesome. We talked back and forth until, 1 or 2 a.m. that night, and just, both equally fascinated with what the other one had to say. So she apparently, goes through old abandoned buildings like this and, documents them just because she finds them cool as hell, and I respect that. It's I don't think I, with my asthmatic lungs, could do this, but, I gave her a more detailed history of that house and what happened there, and, going through bit by bit, just little random things in there, and just, even the histories of those. She's of all the places like this I've gone through, yours was my favorite. I was thank you, I guess, even though I swear to you it was, really nice once upon a time. But, so she was the one that clued me in to how these people were finding it. Apparently, there's an app called Haze Explorer, where you put in, your current location coordinates, and it shows you random abandoned locations near you that you can explore as, an urban explorer. Okay. I see no problem with that, inherently, really. As long as you're not, causing damage to it doing so, you do you. I did not realize that had been added to it. And she actually went in and screenshotted every comment that was on the listing there. And it was kind of chilling seeing people give the details of how to break into the property to get in there. Which tree to climb, which thing to jump on, this, that, the other. Was if it hadn't been for that, I probably would have actually just let it stand. I don't think I would have cared too much. But that was where I started getting very, very unnerved and unsettled at just how violating the whole thing felt in a weird way. Because between that and the comments left about it, and seeing that they'd even given it a name, and that somebody in the comments also included a thing about how, yeah, you can go through the documents and there's clues in the house about who used to own this. You can find out everything about them if you go to Google with it. It's that's creepy as shit right there. That was where I started to kind of really go panic attack city, where it was yeah, is there any way to get that taken down, please and thank you? And to her credit, she actually was the one who got it taken down. It wasn't me. Because apparently that app has a waiting list, and it took less than 24 hours for me to get in, but it was already down by the time that they let me in, so I didn't have to do shit. That was all on her. All the credit, props go to her. But yeah, there was photos and videos in there too that were different from the other ones I had seen. I'm just how many fucking people went through here that maybe didn't even post them somewhere? Oh my god. How long was this happening for? And then, realizing, I think I've seen some of these people milling around that and thought I was going crazy and was still just having PTSD from that time we got fucking robbed. And I was, seeing people milling around it, no, I'm not crazy. Apparently it was very much legit. I was damn, okay. I don't know. I still have, a lot of weird feelings about it, a week later. But I've calmed down about it now. And like I said, it's it is giving a weird sense of closure, even if it did reopen up a lot of things that I had tamped down and not thought about in a long time, or had actively tried to not. But now it's okay, this actually forced me to look it directly in the face head on and actually emotionally deal with my shit and just address the feelings, address all of the things that were tamped down from 2012, address just the sense of loss of the things that I didn't get out of there that apparently were either ones that were stolen or ones that are still sitting there rotting that I will never have now. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I've lived this many years without those things just fine. But it's just it is an odd sense of closure of not having to wonder where did they end up. And now I freaking know they are literally right there. But they're not safe to take, and that sucks, and it feels very Velveteen Rabbit at this point, but it's like, hands are tied, so it's like, well, yeah, I know, you fuck around, you find out. Didn't have time to get everything out of there, and that was that. But, now this all comes full circle for me in one of those, the universe has a sense of humor moments, because all of the stuff that was documenting it totally reminded me of the videos and footage I've seen of people going through the old abandoned Minnelli mansion. And for how hard I've nerded out over those, that's why it's like, I get it. Like, I am literally not mad at any of you who went through it. I get it. Like, given how fascinated I was by that building, totally understand. Totally understand trying to figure out clues from things left behind. Totally get it. But, the irony that I can make that comparison, that apparently I have my own version of the abandoned Minnelli mansion, and find out on literally Liza's birthday that this was a thing. Wow. I'm kind of speechless at how apropos that is. But then there's another level to that makes it even weirder still on a cosmic level. Do you remember when we, were having our yard done and, our pool built and all of that? Remember how the pool guy came out to have the first consult with us on Liza's birthday that year? And, unbeknownst to him that I am a fan, he out of nowhere brings up the Minnelli Mansion thing and, zooms in on, the swan logo in the pool. And he's like, see, that's my company. They used us too. It was like, and you said this was on what property? Funny, you should mention that to me of all people on this of all days. And now, 5 years to the day from that day, I'm having my own personal moment of it. What the fuck is life? I don't even know. So I've been on a roller coaster of fucking emotions for the past week, where this has still been kind of living rent-free in my head of, so that's a thing that happened, and that's a thing that I had to look at and realize the reality of the state of now. But again, it was needed in a way so I can start processing it and just emotionally letting it go. Because that's all you can do at this point. You can't proactively do anything physically about it, but emotionally you can be proactive in letting it go. So, it's not an instant thing, it's not an overnight thing. It takes time, and it comes in waves, where it's just yeah, it definitely spiked the anxiety again to where I'm like, all right, struggling a little bit with that ever since, not because of the people going through it, not because of that at all, but because of it reopening the wounds of that robbery and just the utter violation of people going through there, taking our stuff, and trashing what they left behind, So, I mean, that's a lot to deal with, especially when you just were overwhelmed by it so much at the time that you had to just emotionally tamp it down and bury it and force yourself not to think about it. I barricaded the big picture window in my bedroom for a lot of years to stop myself from ruminating and just staring out that window nonstop, just in case I saw anything else going on. That went on for a really unhealthy amount of time, to where I had to barricade that window for quite a few years to finally break myself out of that. And then I got lazy about taking it back. I finally did, but took me a lot of years to finally get to the point where, okay, I'm ready to A, unbarricade that window, and B, unbury the desk under the window so I can actually use that fucking desk again. The one that I used to sit at to film at once upon a time, but it's not where I'm going to film now, because now I have the whole backdrop thing at the other desk so that we don't see my bed. So unless I'm going to get a second backdrop for the other side of the room, which I'm not going to do, yeah, no, I'm not doing that one because that side shows the bed. And yeah, no, I'm sorry. I deserve to have something private in my life. So anyway, anyways, it just, the weirdness of the timing is the thing that gets me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then just that on top of the oddness of the LA Liza appearance. Again, another video for another day. I still have not fully processed what I witnessed with that. New York got canceled, by the way, so I don't know if San Francisco's still happening either. Guess we'll find out. But anyway, it's been an interesting little stretch of time. So I'm like, all right, well, I kind of took some time out for myself with that one. I'm trying to force myself back in and figured, you know what, if I keep putting this one off, I feel like this will just go to an unhealthy place too. So I'm just going to jump in feet first at the deep end with this one just to get it done and out of the way, and maybe having talked through all of that will get it out of my head enough to where, okay, now I can move on. Because a lot of times when I do these videos, no sooner am I done filming it and posting it, that's when my brain finally lets go of it. So for me, this is therapy. Like, I mean, obviously it doesn't replace like therapy, but like it in and of itself is another form of it for me. I know not everybody agrees with that approach. I don't really care. I do what's right for me. So anyway, yeah, I can't say this is something that probably any of you can relate to, because it's such a weird, oddly specific, niche type of a situation, you know? It's like, what do I do with this? And I mean, for like the next night or two after that, I was jumpy at every little sound and everything, even though looking at the dates on when all of these were like posted is like, yeah, this wasn't even that recent, with the exception of like one of them. So it's like, okay, whatever. But the people who own it now have re-secured that way better. So that's unfortunately going to probably be the end of people exploring it. But yeah, it's a weird feeling where I'm like, I don't quite know how to feel about that. It's a mixed bag because part of me is kind of grateful that people did document it. Like I said, like I screenshotted every single last one of those just for my own purposes. I told them all that I was doing it too. It's not like I was sneakily stealing people's shit, but like, but it's just like, like now that I have them, I don't know that I'm gonna necessarily go back very often to look at those, but at least I have them somewhere if I should want to. I can, and it's probably a good thing to remind myself of sometimes when I'm like, man, if only I'd gone in there one more time and just looked around for this, that, the other bit. Like, no. This right here is a reminder of why that was not really an option. And even though it was nowhere near as bad as that at the time, it was starting already. So it was like, we already knew that we couldn't keep going in there once that ceiling started. Let's try that again. When that ceiling started to fail. Yeah, when the ceiling farted, like, when the ceiling started to fail, we couldn't really go in there anymore. And that was just in one room at that point. That started in my parents' bedroom where the ceiling collapsed first, because it was like the middle point of the house. It's a weird layout. I don't know how to describe it. It was like a ranch house where like one room you had to go through to get to the next and so on and so forth. But like, I guess once the middle part goes, everything goes outwards from that, I guess. I don't know. But it was like, fuck. Damn. That is bad. So, yeah, I'm glad I never went through it again, I guess. Because it's like, I couldn't. No, not with how my lungs are. There's no way. There's no way. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's a thing. I guess I had my own mini version of the abandoned Manelli Mansion. And it was ours to the point where it had a name. Like they were calling it the Jaguar House. Which, I mean, at this point, it's off that app. It's gone. Like, there is no trace of it on there now. So, I mean, you know, I can say that now. But it's like, huh. That's so fucking weird. Oh, man. So, yeah. trying to come back to YouTube. We'll try to be more consistent again. It just, life gets in the way. It's hot out, and I'm unmotivated. Like, again, every time I take too much time off, I get very unmotivated to do it, and then I look at my stats falling, dying off the charts. It's like, hey, bitch, if you're gonna, like, save your channel, you might, like, wanna, start posting again, because the analytics ain't good, so. Shorts will only do so much, but it's not gonna help much in the way of, like, watch time and stuff, so. Anyway, so. I feel awkward. I don't even remember how the hell do I, like, end a video now. Like, it feels so foreign. Like, I don't know. It's gonna take a bit to get back in the swing of things, I think.